Alright, everybody, let's check this out with JP. I really like JP. Before I get into the reaction, though, and you can skip this if you want to, but I've been doing some reactions. A lot of people are liking them, so I'm going to keep doing them. I want to be clear, though, that what I'm about and what my message is before I jump into this reaction here is I want people to be stronger. I want people to be better. Part of that with these reactions is I'm going to be reacting to pretty much anything that I have an opinion on, anything that I can share my voice about, because I believe that in this world, I believe that there is truth. I believe that there is right and wrong. And I think that a lot of people are either lost, they don't have it, they don't want to hear it. And I think that people that do have truth, that do know what right is and what good is, have a hard time sharing that voice, because frankly, it's pretty much anything good these days is against the mainstream. Anything good is not politically correct, and you'll get silenced for it a lot of the time. And so I want to help people feel like they can be stronger, they can be better. Not just with that kind of stuff, but with your personal life, right? And so I want to pretty much react to these things and put my voice out there, and be sort of an example, I guess, like that, if I can be that, right? And so that's pretty much what these things are for. I want everybody to know that, really. I don't know what rant I'm going on here, but let's jump into this video. But that's kind of my main message, is you need to be strong. I want people to be stronger, and we need warriors with how things are right now, to protect the good, to protect what's right, to protect, frankly, children these days that people are going after, and so I know that's kind of what this video is about, actually, which is child trafficking, I think, with the movie. And so I think that we need to be stronger. We need to be warriors. We need to be men. Women need to be strong too, right? And I think truth needs to have more of a voice these days. And the wicked take the truth to be hard. Evil people take the truth to be hard. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to listen to it, and they will fight against it, right? And so that's my message. That's what I'm about. Let me know what you think. But yeah, let's jump into this video here.
Good evening, and welcome to a special Cover Our Tracks report. Why are we on the left panicking over the movie The Sound of Freedom and the realities of child trafficking that it exposes? Why are Rolling Stone, the Washington Post, CNN, and other trusted outlets smearing the movie and creating a narrative that is fueled by crazy conspiracy theories? Well, in doing so, we realize it looks like we're trying to convince people that child trafficking isn't a problem at all in order to protect vile predators.
It's a huge
and that
problem.
Kind of makes it seem like we have some kind of vested interest in child.
Let me be clear, that not just in the quantity, but just even one is that's a big problem for me, right? And that's what we need to fight against this, basically, right?
Trafficking, almost like we support it. So tonight we'll be covering our tracks by telling you why Sound of Freedom deserves to be bashed and why we're not guilty of doing what we're actually doing. Starting with the facts.
Here we go.
Sound of Freedom is based on the life of Tim Ballard, founder of Operation Underground Railroad, that sets up sting operations to rescue children from sex trafficking while putting predators in jail. To date, they've rescued over 7,000 children and helped to make over 6,500 arrests of predators. Pretty impressive statistics, considering child trafficking doesn't exist. Now,
it's not real. Don't watch it.
Released on the 4th of July, Sound of Freedom.
This is why they try to distract us with mainstream media, with the news, with, anything that they can. They're trying to distract the whole world. The Matrix, right?
Has come out of the gate as the #1 movie in the country, beating out Indiana Jones, that was backed by a mega budget of $300 million. Sound of Freedom was only backed by a budget of truth. And its success suggests that truth spreads and wins based on its own merit. But we believe the truth is worth less than money, and the reality that Sound of Freedom exposes isn't truth you can trust. That's why we're here to feed you lies that you can trust. Now, listen closely, because the brainwashing is about to begin. Our working
All right.
narrative that we're aggressively smearing the movie with is that it's based on QAnon-fueled conspiracy theories. Let's hear more. The now definitely not complicit in child trafficking Washington Post calls Sound of Freedom a QAnon-adjacent thriller seducing America. Seducing America into what? Not caring about and being willing to stop the heinous abuse of children by the most vile predators on the planet?
Of course.
Yeah, trying to trick Americans into that isn't good for their interests. The Washington Post tries to discredit the film further by discrediting Operation Underground Railroad itself, by proudly stating that Glenn Kessler, the Washington Post fact checker who has yet to find a single fact but keeps trying, found no evidence of Tim Ballard's claim that 10,000 children are smuggled into the US each year for sex trafficking. You're doing God's work, Glenn, and also doing a great...
And you never hear, right? You never hear about any of that. 10,000 a year? I'm sorry, how many Amber Alerts have I gotten this year? Maybe like 2? What a joke.
Great job of not finding what you're not looking for. The trusted news outlet also shares that in 2020, Vice
do
News
not care.
investigated Operation Underground Railroad, and
Vice
though
is
they
trash.
found no falsehoods in their
Aren't they
rescue
going
claims,
bankrupt?
they did conclude that they have a pattern of image burnishing and mythology building, a series of exaggerations that are, in the aggregate, quite misleading. Provable facts and experiences are at the top of the list for things that are quite misleading. This just in! Just so you know, Vice News is now owned by George Soros.
Oh,
so
okay,
feel
somebody
free
else bought
to
it.
do the math on why they're helping out society by helping protect traffickers. And the Washington Post hits a home run when they say, but the movie has nevertheless been promoted on...
Okay, I think that my thing is like lagging out. I'm not 100% sure. Might show up okay, but I apologize. But I don't want to redo this and make it like a fake reaction.
QAnon message boards.
It is what it is.
And some accuse it of playing into the movement, which is based on the false belief that a highly organized network of global elites are kidnapping children, having sex
As
with them,
if that's
and
not
harvesting
real.
their blood. Again, this is a false belief. Trust the Washington Post.
Washington
Nothing
Post
like
is
that
garbage,
happens.
dude.
It's crazy. So ISIS, when they rolled in and they took advantage and took all the the minority
Tony
religious children,
Robbins?
Christian Yazidis, the same thing's happening in Africa, and they're setting up these like baby factories where they'll impregnate women and make the babies just to sell their body parts. One little boy in particular, that was happening to him. He was
horrible.
kidnapped actually at 4 or 5 years old until he was 12, and they would just slowly suck like the spinal fluid. And they would sell it. This is a witch doctrine kind of satanic ritual stuff where they sell the blood
Look
and
at
people
this.
like drink
Look
it.
how uncomfortable this guy is. This is like some of the worst stuff. Like, you couldn't even think of this. I would have.
And think they're being empowered, and it's a real thing. And this kid had lost all use of. By the time he was 11 years old, he looked like he was 7, and he couldn't use his limbs. And we were able to get him to a doctor in Salt Lake at the Children's Shriners Hospital.
Again, completely false belief according to the Washington Post. And we'd like to thank the Washington Post for speaking out against people who are speaking out, let alone rescuing children, who are being trafficked and having their blood harvested. Because after all, blood harvesting isn't a problem, but people raising awareness about it is a problem. And luckily, we're here to help eliminate that problem. Next up, Rolling Stone got on board the being willing to appear to be protecting child predators train in order to do God's work of silencing dangerous misinformation that wouldn't be dangerous even if it was misinformation. According to Rolling Stone, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. And in their own subtitle, they say, the QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer. They go on to call the film a call to action in an imagined global war against sexual predators. Now, we can't stress enough how much Rolling Stone wants you to believe that child trafficking is just something imagined. And it's awfully good of them to put so much effort into trying to get you to believe so, isn't it?
It is
And
awfully
just
good of them.
something to
Thank you.
preferably not think about.
All it does is make me know even more how much they're into it. Because anybody that's trying to, like, just push you away from, like, recognizing this truth, that this is real, that this goes on, I mean, come on.
Outlets like Washington Post and Rolling Stone had fiercely labeled what are now provably true facts as conspiracies.
I
Like
want to fix this
Hunter
lag
Biden's
on the
laptop,
next one. Gosh,
the lab
dang it.
leak, and side effects. And also don't consider that now that those occurrences have proven to be true, these outlets are still calling them conspiracy theories. So you
Naturally.
should have plenty of confidence in trusting them when they label another provably true phenomenon, child trafficking, as a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy
and if
theory.
you don't trust them,
Don't look at it.
then you must have brainworms or something.
Obviously.
Does ivermectin work against brainworms? What's Mel Gibson have to say?
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
That's why they don't want you to see it.
Correction, Mel Gibson. The most disturbing problem in our world today is awareness about trafficking, and we must eradicate awareness. And we'd like to thank CNN, Washington Post, and Rolling Stone for their efforts to eradicate awareness about trafficking. We see you and will never forget
See
what
you
you're
and
doing.
we'll never forget.
In conclusion, why is the left panicking over the reality that Sound of Freedom exposes? Well, we'll let you decide with this multiple choice quiz. A,
Let's see.
climate change is causing them to do it.
Could
B,
be.
they want to create a safe space for dangerous people. Or C, there's scum who are protecting predators. Weird that 83% of people so far think it's because there's scum who are protecting predators. I don't know what that's about. That's it for our special Cover Our Tracks report, so you don't think any further into why we on the left are bashing Sound of
Think
Freedom
about it.
and so desperately trying to
Look over
discount
here.
its message. The truth shall set you free, so we'll continue trying to hide the truth from you so you won't be free. Because we care about you. Trust
care
us.
about you.
Good night.
Gosh dang it, JP.
I'm coming out of the closet.
All right. All right. JP is good. He's so freaking funny. All right, guys. That was a good video. Thank you, JP, for being a dang good voice and being funny while you do it. Tell you what. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.